How do you define difficulty in Pokemon? Do you just give every trainer legendaries, like in Mythic Silver? Or make the AI impossible to read while also having a really low margin of error, such as in Radical Red?
I cannot believe I'm getting PP stalled! And there's nothing I can do about it!
Creating a meta in which your team has to fit in to pass any obstacle similar to Emerald Kaizo is another approach. How about creating every trainer fight with love and precision that challenges you and makes you think outside the box, like Dex's run and bun?
Nah, I cannot beat this. Maybe it's the one.
Well, those ideas sound great. But what if you remove all the even remotely decent options and make the player bash their head through a concrete wall for a minimum of 80 hours before making any progress? Like the game we're gonna talk about today. Garbage Green, created by the self-titled best Nuzlocker in the world, Pchal, and his modding team led by Spegaspars, isn't just your run-of-the-mill trashlocke. It's the most evil variant out there. Not only are basically half of the locations in the Leaf Green map locked as gauntlets, forcing you to manage your XP, you don't get many items curing status, such as poison, paralysis, or sleep. Meaning that harmless trainer with a single Volt Orb and a Magnemite in the beginning of Mount Moon isn't just an ordinary NPC you can mindlessly brush off, but could possibly start the snowball that'll end your attempt then and there. With that said, let's see how I tackled this very tedious challenge using my hardcore Nuzlocke rules, which are as follows. I'm only allowed to catch the first Trashmon I see on each route, unless it's affected by the Dupes clause. If any of my Pokemon faint, they have to be permaboxed and may not be used again. I'm not allowed any items in battle. I can't overlevel the next gym leader's ace. I'm forced to play on set mode. I'm not allowed any legendaries or mythicals, which will be the toughest part of Nuzlocking Garbage Green, I'm sure. And of course, if my entire party faints, I have to go back to the lab like this was a JP stream.
Wait! Fuck off, man.
I kick off the challenge full of hope and whimsy, which lasted about 5 seconds, as the Paris I chose to accompany me gets absolutely dog-walked. Or, I guess, mushroom spider walked by the rival's Charmander. Which brings me to another point. The starter for you as a player got a very unnoticeable nerf. Charmander got replaced by Slugma, Squirtle by Goldeen, and Bulbasaur by the already seen and buried Paris, while the rival still keeps his vanilla starter. Meaning, with my rules, the intro rival fight is already a challenge to conquer. The second attempt, I picked another big P. Actually got to deliver the parcel and see my first encounter. I'm not gonna try and scratch it, this is level 2. Don't be super... Yeah, that made me realize Paris probably just wasn't him. And I switch up my choice to Caesar's. Okay, maybe it was after one more Paris letdown, but who cares? You might be wondering, Goldeen isn't a Trashmon. Having a water type must mean a free Brock, which is already a start. But sadly, unless you're planning on water sporting all over the place, hoping that Geodude and Onix slip and break apart, you won't be using a water move until level 38. Well, even considering that, in my eyes, Seeking is still my champion. What is this thing's catch rate? As the payoff, when it evolves, lets you sit back in the 2 final gym splits. Whereas Parasect almost never lives long enough to evolve, and Slugma is picked only for 2 reasons. You either love these nuts jokes, or you want those 2 citrus berries you get before Mount Moon from the Magikarp NPC when you show him Slugma. The Route 1 encounter is between Unknown, which has potential to sweep Brock and is a very good early game carry with HP Grass, Smeargle, whose utility is purely up to you since it learns Sketch and is very, very viable if you acquire the right moves, as we'll see later on. Ditto, which is also pretty decent, but you really don't want to get it here, as it starts being at least a little bit usable after Misty. And Delibird, who later on in my runs I classed, because seriously, that thing is so fucking dogshit, I couldn't find a single fucking use for it if I tried. As a side note, Unknown and Ditto are replacements for all the static encounters, such as the legendary birds, Snorlaxes, Lapras, etc. In other words, You pray to get a Smeargle here, to be able to fill your box as much as you can. Well, attempt 5 starts with a decent 5-pack in Ditto, Togepi, which is actually a great gamble for the Brock and Misty splits with Metronome, Psyduck, by far the best encounter on Route 2, and the Giga Chat Ladybug. Brock isn't usually a wipe point, but I don't find the run worth playing out if I lose anything that isn't a useless fodder from this point on. Here you can see exactly the type of clown fiesta we have to put on if we want to get past him with the squad the encounter pool provides you with. Okay. You just yawn again. Wait, why did the Doom Desire not go off? Oh, it did. Okay, cool. Hit this? Nope. Please hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this. Nice. After just barely squeaking by this rock-hard loser, we access a few more encounters. And the first out of many, many gauntlets. Actual viewership on stream. Like, so far I can just leech off. No! No! We had another Ekans! Can we not talk about that one? After running and screaming in the cave, we come face to face with the first actual run killer of Garbage Green, Misty. Her Starmie usually isn't that big of a problem in vanilla, as you have Ivysaur or a different sort of grass type from Viridian Forest. But as a fast, hard-hitting special attacker with a move that has a possibility of RNG-heavy secondary effect, it isn't really in the capabilities of my base stat-lacking team. Thankfully, the combination of Supersonic and Togepi Metronome luck lets me breeze through this hurdle and move on to the Nugget Bridge Gauntlet. There is a reason I left it after the gym. It starts with the rival battle, still not that difficult at this point. He has Abra with Teleport as its signature move, after all. But you do have to fight your way all the way to Bill's house after that, and having those few extra levels comes in handy. We take a detour to Dunsparce's cave to catch our next helpful encounter, only for another reality check to commence. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna get killed by rollout. God damn it. Bro, I just wipe. I get why this is a scary encounter now. Oh, okay, dude. We eventually capture the troublemaking Sisyphus, but it's too late. The damage is done, and I reset the attempt to get my sweet Prince Caestus back on board. With, once again, a pretty decent starter pack, we managed to clobber Brock with no issue. And to truly understand the pain Pchal wants to put you through, my team had nothing for this Onyx in Mount Moon, so this was like 10 minutes of stream. Well, there goes another Goldeen. I wasn't ready to reset just yet though. I also had to lose Swablu, Coughing, Ditto, Ledian, and Shellder to finally throw in the towel. I mean, as you learn very quickly, the resets are not really mentally heavy as long as they're before LT Surge, as that's the playstyle this game is kind of forcing you to adapt to. We make it to Misty for the third time in the same stream in measly 20 minutes, and with this hidden power electric unknown and a pretty decent Coughing, we drown the Olympic swimmer in her own pool for a deathless second badge. As a professional in the Nuzlocking field, I can tell you that no deaths kinda better than some deaths, and with a myriad of options, we obliterate the Nugget Bridge Gauntlet with no issue. Get stick-bogged! Guaranteed Flareon, yay! This stiff beetle actually surprised me, as having a bulky rock type this early makes a lot of the interlocked locations less run-killery. EK reference! Oh, yeah, since this is the first time we got here, you should probably know that Surge's gym, on top of the lack of gym puzzle creativity, is also a gauntlet. Which doesn't sound that bad, right? Like, what is it, 3 trainers? It doesn't really matter how many there are. What matters is the fact that they can paralyze you. And as you know, status is almost unremovable in Garbage Green, meaning the Raichu will then want to take a bath together with an industrial strength toaster, whether or not Bro, you gotta fucking lock. Okay, you suck. Fuck you. I don't give a shit about that Pokemon. Fuck that fucking thing. I was upset. But that still didn't stop me from employing the fuck it we Dunsparce strategy, which is going to become a core play in the future. Its premiere wasn't a success though. Well, it's getting pretty repetitive, right? Let me skip ahead a little bit. Still in the Brockatorium? Okay, now I'm starting to think that this is a skill issue. I'm playing as if I couldn't sleep last night. There we go, back at Surge, and we are not going to mention the attempt number, okay?
Planning for the double team rat combo on Surge's Vanilla Squad can definitely drain you, but screw planning. Listen, you either ball hard or you're not balling at all. It's easy, guys. You just smash roll out, okay? And then just don't miss. Give me 4 times in a row, even through double teams we're not missing. This has been the best plan I've ever seen.
Well, the tempo doesn't slow down here, as Rock Tunnel is yet another gauntlet. So you have to pick a diverse team for the very broad ensemble of Pokemon those trainers throw at you, manage your PP and HP on top of navigating in the pitch black cave, because I'm too stubborn to look up a map, or you die. Oh, maybe you don't. If you outspeed, you don't die. Nice! Okay. That's all the trainers, if I'm not mistaken. We were just like, oh, I'm gonna throw 2 more in here. Thankfully, with Mankey and Loudred, getting lost was my biggest problem. Oh, I forgot to mention, we snag a Larvitar, which is an Elite Four Stample in this game. Pupitar is actually really bulky, and with its access to Dig, it can carry you on its scaly back. I don't actually think I've seen an Elite Four that didn't feature it. Well, except for PP, but that's the GOAT difference, I guess. And while fighting an optional, this happened. I have no words. Now, we face a serious roadblock. The Rocket Hideout. Not only could you mistake this place for the deck court with the amount of toxic garbage that's in here, the cherry on top of this already rotting cake is Giovanni, who doesn't mess around if you don't have a rock type for Kangaskhan. Holy Para? Nope. Smokescreen, you gotta miss here. Nice. I'm gonna blow up, I think, with coughing. I don't think there's any leeway here, even though there might be with this. Fine. We can now do this, and hopefully kill this with Rock Slide. Nope. And that's it for this run. And I should have killed with that. The changes in the Garbage Green storyline force you to do this and the Pokemon Tower Gauntlet before facing Erika, meaning XP management enters the chat on top of all your other worries. So, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, the Erika split is, in my opinion, the hardest part of the game, and is the exact spot where you learn that most of your lower value Pokemon have to give their lives to protect those with Elite Four potential. In other words, you have to sacrifice the many to save the few. Attempt 12 stumbles and trips, but eventually falls apart near the end of the ghostly hell. The spirits were just too demanding. And we don't make any progress for 11 straight attempts. I have to watch a party after party fall short at various points of the game, slowly chipping at my mental. These opponents I'm facing, they're vanilla trainers. How am I failing to measure up to them? Will this nightmare ever end? My hope was temporarily restored. As an attempt, I thought it was not gonna make it past Mount Moon, clobbers Misty with 0 deaths. If it doesn't hit, solve it. Nice. It did solve it. What was this chain of events, dude? I threw Loudred, and I got carried by the RNG, absolutely. That's crazy. Okay, this is the run. With a record as impressive as that, it's easy to let your guard down. Okay, this sucked. Teddiursa with the normal typing and access to Feint Attack was going to be my Pokemon Tower Sweeper. And now I'm back to stumbling in the dark. I saw the Machop I was not supposed to stay in. I knew what was gonna happen too. Like, I knew that was gonna crit me. And undamaged. And I got slapped. Can I make this up? How about you hit some moves, bro? God, I hope I can. Why did it do that? Stop! Oh, I had to PP stall. Are you serious? This Lieutenant Search fight goes south real fast. But before I know it, Loudred picks up the pieces of my broken strategy from Dunsparce's body and hands them to Clefairy, with the accuracy bypassing move and Magical Leaf, to slice through the ploy of this senile veteran. From my past experiences, I know Dunsparce's use kinda peaks here, because you'd need at least 25 attack plus 20 speed for it to perform at least decently in the rocket hideout. We pick up the best option possible with Mareep on Route 11, and a very promising late game Pokemon in Gligar on Route 10. Yes, you heard me right. Gligar is a promising Pokemon for late game in Garbage Green. Just to put into perspective how good, or rather bad, the encounters truly are. With Fluffy joining the squad and Goldeen owning that Water Pulse TM from Misty, Rock Tunnel, as well as its vicious inhabitants, poses no trouble. Our prize is a Guts Rattata, which doesn't evolve in Garbage Green, as Raticate is rightfully so deemed too broken. But despite that nerf, this little fella will be important later. With the combined efforts of Shroomish, Psyduck, and Onix, we're able to clean most of the rocket hideout without losing much HP. Giovanni will finally get a worthy battle with me. Well, I shouldn't take the credit. The fight really is between the criminal mastermind and Italy the Shroomish, as he shows why you cannot spell Shroomish without H-I-M. 90, okay. Just don't miss this. Don't miss, please don't miss. And live a hit. Okay, he did bite, okay, interesting. Meaning we can take one more? Stun Spore? Great, okay. Now it's your time to shine, Russia. Go in! With a small and planned Feebas sacrifice to switch Onix in safely, we're easily able to stall out the Mega Punching Mother to reach within grabbing distance of our new PB. I know there will be 3 more roadblocks as hard as the Pokemon Tower from that point on, which is my only motivation to push through. Oh, which ones do I mean? There's the Silphco Gauntlet, which is generous enough to give you 1 free heal in the beds before the rival. That still doesn't change the fact that there's like 40 trainers there, including 2 bosses. Then there's the Route 15, 14, and 13 Gauntlet, which is pretty self-explanatory. Finally, the Surf Routes plus Seafoam Islands plus Pokemon Mansion Gauntlet. We'll leave explaining that one for when the time comes. Anyway, let's go back to the present. Fluffy is put out of commission for the rest of the tower almost immediately, but at least it takes both of the threatening members of my rival's gang with him. Gligar proves his worth, finishing the fight with a feint attack, and we can start the actual hard part. Nightshade gets old quick, exactly the reason I wanted Teddy Ursa for this job. And because of my teddy bear already lying 6 feet under, this happens. And because I lost my ground immunity, this happens. You sucker. You fucking dick. My Nidorina being totally cracked out of its mind makes the difference so that we don't lose anything else in this hellhole. Erika's gym allows you to bring only 4 members, but at least you're not locked inside. Thank God. So I let India the Meditite and Andorra the Ledian do all the heavy lifting before switching up my strategy for the actual gym leader. You see, Erika is the rare case of a gym leader leading with their scariest and also most tempestuous member, meaning we finally let a bench warmer prove their worth. Or die trying. Just watch this absolute masterclass brought to you by Burundi the Ditto. He missed. That is insane. Because now he cannot do that again. He cannot poison powder me again. And I can just ass it. Does even Stun Spore work against grass types? It does. Okay, in Gen 3 it does. That's fine, we have the Lumberry. Ocean, okay. You're a bitch, but it's fine. At least you wasted that, that's good. Like, I can make this a long-ass fucking battle, and I can just probably stay in with this. Does she use another potion on that? No, she doesn't. Does this kill? I don't think it does. Just Giga resisted, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Holy shit, how bulky is this Ditto? Holy, please. That was a crit? Holy fuck. Oh, you have a full heal too. Okay, I see you. You saw my Lumberry and you want a taste of that too, huh? And you got poisoned again. I don't think you have 2 full heals, do you? think poison does slightly more. Yep, poison does slightly more than ingrain. Holy shit, let's go. That means we can freely stun spore this. Oh no. How much will that do? Actually decent damage. Please Brandy lock in. I don't want to lose you here. You're actually kind of goated. I'm not gonna lie. Nice. I can switch you out now. There we go. Oh, it lived? Jesus Christ. That's the second time it lived on 1 HP. That's wild. Now you die though. 07 Erica. And that's gym number 4. Fucking finally. After grabbing our pecker and athletic prowess, we enter the cycling road, which is obviously a gauntlet. But as the majority of the trainers use either fighting or poison types, this one is one of the easy ones. Well, the fact I also have a plus special attack, 29 special attack Meditite, and I was willing to go very close to the level cap doesn't really hurt our case either. Pidgeotto's malevolent wings cut through the fighting types. In arena that I decided to use my Dick TM, as Larvitar is kind of out of the question now, is able to bury the toughest trainers, and the rest of my party fairly easily subdues the Grimers and Coughings. The game then tries to screw me over as this happens. These were not mentioned in the document, and I wasn't sure if my party has what it takes. Another thing that wasn't mentioned was the boulder in front of the Fuchsia gym, meaning Koga is effectively locked behind the longest gauntlet in the game, and I just went way too close to the cap on 3 out of 6 of my best Pokemon, thinking I'll be immediately able to lift it. But at least we get the Safari Zone. Wrong! The Safari Zone in Garbage Green is locked behind the 6 badge merit, because Pchal hates fun and nice things. This was all part of my plan. I go back to pick up my Pokemon Tower encounter, where I get my favorite little grass guy, Route 18, where we grab a bag of frozen vegetables, and Route 17, to fire up our passion. With the cleanup squad assembled, and the plan clearly drawn out, we enter the gates of hell. For like the 3rd time in this video. Snorunt has no use getting switched in later, but as an ice type is capable of saving my electric move PP for tougher fights. So I decide to just throw Finland at the first couple of trainers with great success. Another great utility piece comes in with Grovile's Mega Drain, as that's like the only option to get health back. Fluffy takes care of the Bird Keepers midway, with the combo of starter middle stages consistently annihilating all the trainers I don't have a type advantage for. I finally get my Strength HM. Once we run out of Mega Drain PP, I use my 2 Brain Cells to replace it with Giga Drain, which we got from Erica, as Grovile is gonna stick with us for very, very long. Might as well do the investment now, right? Thanks to Snorunt and the PP saved from the beginning, Fluffy still has enough juice to clutch up against the last and toughest bird keeper in here, getting us to the most terrifying part of this scenic death trap, these 4 bikers. Not only do they mostly have Grimers, the especially bulkier of the 2 poison types, all of them also have Minimize, a move that raises your evasiveness, so it makes the opponent, in this case me, miss more often. And with the PP reduction changes in this game, that's not something you want to see. Luckily, my starter is him, and has no trouble overpowering them with a combo of Waterfall and Horn Attack. Even though it did get a little scary at the end. Fuck, I could go to Fluffy, but I don't really want to risk that. Hit through it one time. Oh my god. Can you hit through it one time? Nice, thank you. This gonna kill, right? Ooh. The final battle is really mean, as if your party is all paralyzed and worn out, the 2 Hitmons can absolutely wipe the dust off the road with you. That wasn't my case though, so Leaf Blade and Flame Wheel put Lee to sleep first, as it's the scarier of the 2, and the Chan follows next turn. Oh, never mind, there's still one left. We track back, fighting our PTSD, to grab a broken wind chime, before losing our Loudred to the first trainer in the gym. But you know what they say, if someone makes you mad, you just have to meditate on it. Your coughing goes down. Just show me a 2-hit, please. Great. That's okay. Didn't minimize. See how easy it is? Not that hard anymore, is it? Oh my god, it left. It's gonna get hyper potioned. Okay. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Meditite has to die here. I can't risk that. Because this is definitely getting healed. Yep. I can't risk that. I have to let Meditite go down here. Well, technically I don't. Depends on the range. That's a crit. Okay, never mind. Meditite just saved its life. Like, yeah, Meditite has to die, right? Right? Do I lift 2 poison hits? That was 10. I do. Hey, we don't die to poison from here. Fuck you, Koga. Oh, I also forgot to mention, before the Koga fight, we went to backtrack for XP share, only for this to happen. So we traded that useless carp for an even more useless Tyrogue to fill the extra space. Time to settle the business at Selfco. It's not just any business though. This is the fishiest of the businesses. Grovile's technique is severing and slicing, and with India learning the Powerplex method of getting charged by the opponent's hits, his technique reversal smashes through all the steel types and normal types with ease. Nidorina's skills are slightly more underground than the rest of my team, but we embrace her for it. For once, I understand the Volkner mindset, getting bored of humbling these weak nobodies. I take advantage of the unique one-time heal and face my rival. Fluffy goes right back to work, frying the fully evolved Pidgeot as well as the horrifying Sea Serpent. Growlithe doesn't even get a bark in to send out Venusaur. To be fair, if this false starter used all of his RNG manipulation, he might cause Nidorina a little trouble. But would she lose? Nah, she'd win. This crits, I swear to god. This is insane. I have to try one more time. Don't crit twice in a row. I couldn't sleep. Spain avenges our fallen island by grilling Venusaur and snapping Alakazam in half. But that won't give me my Dictium back. Yay, at least now we got Unknown. Good thing at least good old Geo is still a pushover. Caestus splishes Nidorino and splashes on Nidoqueen. Meditite beats the single mother and thanks to his low HP also takes down the incoming Rhyhorn, showing me yet another surprise he had under his sleeve. I need to get the Nidorina death out of my system, so we go gym. Yeah, actually it's more of a dojo, but whatever. Pidgeotto makes a quick work of all the meatheads and we can pick up yet another starter, as well as the 2 encounters from the long section I forgot to grab, Smoochum and Drowsy. Sabrina acts as kind of a last line of defense for the gym leaders alone, as neither Blaine or Giovanni pose any threat as long as I keep seeking skills moving. So naturally, I went all out with the prep, and didn't meme even a little bit. What's that poisoned rat doing there? How about you stop asking me these ridiculous questions? We begin the battle just like Trump's every sentence. With China. Double Edge takes out the Kadabra, and thanks to the Gen 3 Switch AI, Sabrina sends out Venomoth next. And since that's a poison type, you can imagine how easy it is for Chimeco to... Right.
Sure, but I'm the idiot who took you with me.
Yeah? How? You're out of shit to explode.
I've got one thing left.
Mm-hmm. And what's that?
My entire goddamn skeleton, dickhead.
Fuck off. Enter the bona fide Hamon hero, who's so quick to attack, not even Mr. Mime's nonchalant mindset saves it from certain doom. But sadly, this Rattenfanger's time is up. With a final quick attack for the road, it chips the terrifying mastermind and prepares to say cheese for the last time. Never mind. You're What? You threw? You lose to a rat? You fucking lose to a rat? That's insane! Get fucked! That's crazy! I don't know why I go so high-pitched, but that's fucking wild! Sabrina dethroned, we finally get access to the Safari Zone, where I don't have high hopes of actually catching the encounter, despite it holding insane Elite Four prowess, in Pokemon such as Natu or Beedrill, as well as some decent muscle in Machop. Oh, Snubble is also there, but that's a Suckymon and we don't want that one. Brace for the encounter, chat. It's coming. Yep. What is it? We got the Big Dig B. Holy shit. Let's go. Let's go. That's pog as fuck. Let's catch this. Oh. Come on. Stay in the ball, please. 1, 2, 3. You fucking loser. Please don't run. Okay. Ball number 2. 1. No. Don't run. I'm just gonna throw balls. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Yes! They call me the Safari Zone fucking GOAT for a reason. I catch 90% of my Safari Zone encounters. That's how you fucking do it. With our morale being at an all-time high, we brace for what could be considered the most annoying part of this game. Of course, I'm talking about yet another gauntlet. This particular one being allergic to your grass and electric types. It also includes the 3 surfing routes, plus the now mandatory Seafoam Islands, and the Pokemon Mansion for good measure. The overlay isn't updated for some reason, but our team looks like this. Luckily, Pidgeotto's Fly and Seeking's Horn Attack is usually enough to one-shot all of these first stage fish, meaning not even the overwhelming numbers bring us down, as we inevitably make it to the scary house on Cinnabar's shore, which Beedrill and Masquerade with the cover of Meditite clean up in no time as well. With the gauntlet over, I backtrack for my encounters, the only notable pickup being Duskull, one of the best Pokemon in this game, period, as it's a ghost type, learns Curse, and to my shock, actually evolves. This thing is an Elite Four member no matter the IVs, but enough stalling. Rwanda is now about to claim the fruits of our labor. Blaine's gym has a restriction where it only allows you to bring up to 3 Pokemon with you. And since Blaine doesn't fuck with Family Feud, you now have to resort to violence over simple questions. Luckily, all I need is a single fish to burn this old, bold, and frankly quite smelly excuse for a gym leader to cinders. In fact, fuck it. I'll show you the absolute bloodbath these trainers had to endure. When it's Blaine's turn, he realized he was playing with a flame even he couldn't handle, and I was holding the gasoline and the matches. That's not the best analogy, considering I used the exact opposite of fire, but let's look past that. Anyway, Rain Dance, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and Blaine's meager flame has been successfully extinguished. Margit would be proud. Considering what you just saw, how do you expect Giovanni to go? Well, hold that thought, as this game forces you to do Savvy Islands next. And I think it's fair to say you're getting sick of my narration. I bet a change of pace and a more pleasant voice would be well appreciated. You thought exactly that? Hey, come on! Well, I have good news for you then, dear viewer, as I welcome the professional Nuzlocker.
Well, at least those red toes of yours still look delectable. What the fuck?
/ musical genius behind Creeper Special / the most wholesome person on this entire platform, PointlessPerseid, to guide you through this grueling part of Garbage Green.
There are 6 encounters in total between the islands, with Treasure Beach, Cape Brink, Berry Forest, Kindle Road, Mount Ember, and Bond Bridge being the locations. Some of these can give you seriously good Pokemon and even Elite Four candidates. For example, all 3 starters evolutions are available, along with the surprisingly viable Murkrow and even a small chance to pick up the GOAT Larvitar if you bring a Pokemon with Rock Smash. Some of these encounters are duds for sure, but with some strong water types at Treasure Beach and Bond Bridge, chances to catch electric types on Cape Brink, and overall tons of variety available, you're sure to find a Pokemon that's useful. Even if, like my own personal favorite and run MVP Kecleon, they don't seem too great at first. Your Sevi Islands encounters are the last big batch of encounters you'll get, so it's important to make them count. With many of these areas having multiple E4 mons, if you think about it, this sounds like a nice box refill with some insane potential. So where's the catch? As per usual, the Pokemon centers on the island are out of service, so you're stuck with your party of 6 and have to beat all the trainers on all 3 islands, meaning every additional encounter, considering their usually pretty low catch rate, poses a risk of chipping your team down even more. You'd think, oh, just come back after the gauntlet. Well, that's also not possible, as the game forces you to cruise back to Cinnabar, locking you out of everything you didn't pick up.
Which brings us back to me. Because I didn't think that far, effectively leaving behind my Kindler Road encounter. Loki, the most promising of them all. That's the Hurrinian difference, I guess. Huge thank you to PP for explaining this small bill-mandated vacation, and let's go back to our gym badges. The final gym is, of course, designed to make you suffer. Is designed to make you think. I swear, the headaches you get are just perks of the game. Please, God, let it be over. Once you enter the gym, your bag gets locked with a tungsten bike lock by one of Giovanni's grunts, effectively removing your access to it. Meaning, no heals, no item changes, and most importantly, no team order changes. And of course you can't leave once you enter, duh. This sounds scary in theory, until you realize you're effectively on the final split of the game, and you can afford a few sacrifices. This is exactly why I lead with Iceland, the tiny little baby, who has absolutely zero chance to make it onto any other squad from now on, as it has the IVs of an area code. Thanks to the very optimal deaths we had so far, my box is amazingly scaled for this challenge. Canada the Golduck, Ireland the Weepinbell, and Indonesia the Masquerade make the final gym trainers look like toddlers on Route 2. And before we know it, we lock eyes with Giovanni for the last time. This is it. This is my final great victory over you, Big G. I opened the battle by growing a conscience, not being able to let Smoochum get stoned to death. Sorry, Ireland. But you need not to worry. In vengeance for the rocks, my waves I wield. I pocket the last shiny trinket and book it for the definitive gauntlet, Victory Road. Hold it! Of course there is one more test of my might, in form of Slovak. His Pidgeot gets punished for the lack of patience with Flaffy's static, before immediately falling to Shockwave. With that kind of hit to his mental, Slovak basically just rolls over and dies on the spot, letting us proceed for our final encounters. My day gets brighter with the Solrock, but where's the sun, there also has to be the moon. This specific moon eclipses on Flaffy's life, and blows the fuck up! Rest easy, champion. You were one of the greats. I wouldn't get this far without you, Slovenia. Graveler as my Victory Road encounter isn't anything special. At least I don't have to call the bomb squad on this one. We assembled a pretty risky squad for Victory Road, considering both Meditite and Seeking were already in my E4 plans. But I had faith that they'll do completely fine here. India, being the lead for like 90% of the early battles, gets him low enough when his trap card triggers, and Reversal wipes 3 whole trainers of the face of Kanto. The final King and Queen Gambit are just a showcase of how good my team of trash actually is, as not even losing the 1 in 3 on moves into Para into crit makes me tumble. And we're out. We're at the final layer of Purgatory. The only question left being, what exactly is my prize for all this suffering? Do I find the courage? All that's left are the prayers that I'm let in. Whether to hell or heaven is solely up to me. The night before the Elite Four, I couldn't sleep. I put together members with a semi-perfect synergy that were basically guaranteed to be crowned at the end of this very tedious journey. Yet, I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing all the scenarios that could send me back to that dreaded lab. And even knowing my strategy was rock solid, I couldn't sleep. Maybe it's because I'm merely watching an already manifested dream I'd never wake up from. I got immersed in my own hubris, already forgetting all the team members I lost along the way. And before I knew it, the dream was all over. Maybe these gates are the way to finally wake up. Maybe it's time to find out if I'm really alive. I felt a horrible shiver go down my back as I lock eyes with Lorelei. Yet, the only thing cooler than the atmosphere in her room is my Groval's demeanor, as he slides in, already in red HP to take advantage of Overgrow, making his leaf blade sharper than razors, slicing through Dugong and Slowbro, getting to level 61, guaranteeing the kill on Lapras as well. As Jinx dances on in, I let Romania take a bit of chip, until the devilish concubine finally lays her lips on him, making sure she won't do it on the switch to Beedrill, whose Spearberry protects him from any bad RNG, as Twin Needle saws and reaps through Jinx, along with Lorelei's hope. Minoon then proves her worth, one-shotting Cloyster, letting us move past the cardio and to the pump. Bruno's huge muscles are no match for my massive brain. It also helps that he has 2 Onyxes. Portugal keeps channeling his main character energy through Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. My champ in a trashlocke is terrifying. As long as you don't have a ghost type. Hey! Let's fucking go. This Machamp can never, ever in his life see a kill on me. Even from +6 Bull Cup, it doesn't see a kill. Not even from 50%. Like, even after I do Curse, I should be left it with 80, because I think it always tops off with the more HP. You get left with the more HP. Yeah, we always don't activate Citrus here. This is +2. Once this goes to +5, unless it's a full restore thing, I have to rest. Since I don't want to risk a crit Rock Tomb. It could start going for Scary Faces though. And I could also crit it now. Do it! +3. Okay, I remember that. +3. Crit it. Crit it. Come on. Just do it. Just crit through it. Nope. Okay, that's fine. I think we see a 4-star here after Curse, right? Almost guaranteed. It takes a couple of minutes, but eventually the brute succumbs to Curse, as my friendly neighborhood ghost snoozes. And with Caesar's premiere on this Elite 4 VOD, we put the no in Bruno. Agatha wanted to make sure I witnessed true horror, and sadly, this old witch was right. Her menacing aura was too much even for Albania, making him miss the range on the first Gengar, hitting one of the very niche Luscons this Elite 4 had, as Gengar double-teamed. And I'm obviously fucking with you, Feint Attack cannot miss. Golbat gets sparked down straight from the sky. Goatbox presence isn't as scary as Romania, and you already saw the Gengar repellent I've unleashed. Now you can really see how broken Murkrow is for Agatha. I mean, the only scary thing about her ghosts is Double Team and the Hypnosis Dream Eater combo. Murkrow has Feint Attack, removing accuracy checks, and as the bird also has Insomnia, Hypnosis doesn't affect him. And just like Murkrow, I couldn't sleep. With Agatha getting shipped to the nearest retirement home, we march on, straight into the Dragon's Maw. I couldn't sleep. If there's anything me and Egon have in common, it's our hatred of Also, Dusclops no longer needs Earthquake, so Rock Tomb it is. My Duracell mouse sparks the electricity allergic eel, and despite this not being necessary, it was worth the try to eliminate risking seizes this early. Hit it? Yes! That makes it so much easier. One Thunder is so much help. Don't Hyper Beam me. Oh my god, that's so good. Please don't shed skin. You choked. Hit another one? Okay, that's fine. Flipera? I'm frauding! Hit it? Okay, we missed. At least I'm not frauding that much. We live this. We live even a crit here, I think. It's not ideal. We now get the Lepa Berry. This has to recharge, so we get 2 more Thunder for free. Please just hit... Stop. Okay, we hit it. Yes. Kill it, please. There's a really high chance this kills. Nice. MVP Lepa Berry. Sadly, some bad RNG on the second Dragonair makes Beedrill unable to take a hit from Dragonite, putting me in an awkward spot. I frantically sent out Dusclops, my actual Dragonite counter, straight into Wing Attack. I couldn't sleep. I decided to resto chesto to improve the chances of living curse. I couldn't sleep. After successfully putting the second scariest mon of this entire Elite Four on a timer, I decided to hope for the outrage lock-in and protect it. As the dragon safeguarded, just 3 words flashed in my head. I couldn't sleep. I knew Dusclops had to go, so I let it. But the ghost with the most persevered, and continued to miss a move. I protect again, as the Citrus Berry saves Dragonite from certain death, and I finally man up to switch Dusclops. I send Beedrill out, and lands heals. I didn't know he can do that while still locked into Outrage. I couldn't sleep. Chile was a welcome and a very needed addition to the team. We got the Big Dig B, holy shit. The encounter we caught against all odds. But I had to let it go. There was just one small thing I overlooked. One missed range on Dragonair. One unfortunate and unaccounted for Citrus Berry proc. I wasn't sure it would matter, but I couldn't sleep. And with a heavy heart, will now have to bear the Beedrill sacrifice on my conscience. Dragonite once again lives the curse on a damn sliver, as I see a glimmer of hope. One single out. One 95 accurate move, giving me the exact chip I need. Albania takes to the skies. The dragon gets chipped and Murkrow actually hits his move, steering this very, very banged up vehicle back on the road, but far from the finish line. I face my biggest fear in this entire Elite Four. Step aside, Bale. Aerodactyl the Dread entered the arena, and I couldn't sleep. Don't do it. Don't boost. Please, please, I beg you. I beg you, for all the shit that went wrong, please don't boost. Please don't boost. Oh my god, you're so goated. You're so goated you didn't go for that. Wing attack? Oh, okay, don't boost. Don't boost. Don't boost. Don't boost. No, no boosties. Okay. We might be out of it. This doesn't have to kill. It can. Didn't kill. Okay, cool. This is getting healed, right? Live? Live? I don't think we'll have a crit here. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're through! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Holy shit, this was the battle. I was straight up fucking stressing over the last 2 nights. No, it's not the game. We still have the champion. It's not over completely. But we're almost guaranteed to win now. I don't think you understand the size of the boulder that fell off my chest. This was the scariest part of this entire Elite Four. 1 crit, an Omni boost, and this was all over. The nightmares that flooded my mind for the past 2 months and wouldn't let me sleep started to clear up. But in turn, we've lost one of our beloved team members. And even before Chile the Beedrill got to properly shine. Because of her early demise, she had little to no impact on this Elite Four. Does that mean I should have brought someone else? Does that mean that her life was meaningless? Does that mean there was no point in us catching her in the Safari Zone? Would you say that of our fallen team members? What about Nidorina? Or Flaffy? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their sacrifice serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen! The anguished fallen! Their life had meaning because our team continues to push on, and we can't give up, for their sake! After all, it's just one more battle, 6 more Pokemon to outmaneuver, 1 more test of my will, and I can finally rest. I kept telling myself, just 1 more, but I couldn't sleep. So let's finish it in style, okay? The final chase starts with a mouse and a bird, and we know how this ends. Denmark runs laps around the avian beast as my held white herb nullifies the sun attack. But the mouse gets too confident and fires a spark right into the switched in Rhydon. Slovak actually helped me out with this switch a ton, as now I have no reason to hold on to Portugal, as it did plenty more than I had in store for it. Pokemon are tools after all, right? But Portugal has done so much for me this run. I can't just call him it and make him an expendable chess piece in my gambit. He was the spark that lit the flame, the seed that sprouted this run into what it is now. The reason we got here, the reason I can even think about my long overdue rest. I make up my mind. Beat the bird with his own flying tricks, and as Arcanine comes out, I can smell the extreme speed in the air. So Romania phases in, making room for Wanda to make Slovak panic and use a full restore. Another E-speed spells the end of Arcanine and procs my Citrus Berry. I know Venusaur has to Solar Beam me, so I roll the dice and click Blizzard. That's what I thought. But what's one more setback? Dusclops proves his never-ending worth one more time. One more curse, one more life. Lost to this never-ending nightmare. Portugal swoops in again to Aura Farm like his name is Jinwoo to bait Psychic from Alakazam for Albania to prove his typing advantage, in case you've forgotten, joining Quilava and Rattata in the Alakazam Bully Hall of Fame. But like Murkrow, I couldn't sleep. Although my sleepless nights were coming to an end, and this ever so useful Murkrow would serve as a sore reminder of my past. I had to say nevermore as I watched Albania go down. Once the crow got murdered, the charged up rodent finally put an electrified nail into this barbed coffin. Rival. The guy who tried to fuck me over in every single hard gauntlet in this game. And we did it. Game is fucking over. We move on to the second game of the gauntlet. First time we got 50% of the gauntlet done. That's insane. Oh, that's right. As you could see the whole time in the title, I wasn't just planning on beating Garbage Green, but to best this game, and the second similar game made by Pchal and his team, Emerald Trashlocke, back to back, meaning this nightmare wasn't quite over yet. How did it go? Well, you'll have to wait till next time to see that. I'd like to sincerely thank you for watching, as this has been yet another terrifyingly huge project that I can't help but love the final product of. I hope to have you for the second Trashlocke ride as well. So, until next time, I'm Herenian, and this has been my Garbage Green journey. Goodbye. Okay, huge shout out to Spega for making me suffer, and Pokemon challenges, obviously.